Welcome back to More Than Streams. I'm just kidding. Welcome to episode 28 of the Racket House podcast, where we discuss all things music and success in our fun corner of the world, helping to inspire, inform, educate, motivate, and keep hope alive for musicians, creatives, entrepreneurs, and anyone else who wants to grow their brand in the music or creative spaces. Today's episode is sponsored by air conditioning and coconut water because we are live from Vietnam, possibly the sweatiest place I've ever visited in the world, and we welcome Finch Bergling. What's
Hello.
up, man? He is a music marketer and playlist curator from Slovakia who helps independent musicians grow their fan base through playlists, ads, and social media. With over 100,000 playlist followers and 500 students across his programs, he teaches artists how to turn casual listeners into fans through practical strategies that go beyond streaming. Hence the little joke at the beginning, his Beyond Streams, More Than Streams podcast. Excited to get into chat about music marketing and someone who has been doing it for years. Let's welcome Finch to the podcast, baby. Let's go.
Thank you for the kind introduction, John. I'm super excited to be here and to actually do it live with another music marketer.
Doing it live. This is your first in-person, in-the-flesh podcast, right?
First time,
How do you feel? How are you feeling?
A bit excited.
You're excited?
Definitely, yeah. And a bit nerdy about all of the things that we're going to talk about.
Oh, yeah. I've enjoyed getting to know you in person. The reason why I came to Vietnam is literally because of you. So big honor there, and you've been very gracious as a host for the past week. I've been here for a week. You've been here for 2 months.
2 months already,
2 months, and you've been here before. So for those who don't know, Finch, you found me online.
Mm-hmm.
You through
on Instagram.
Just through Instagram, but were you searching? You just randomly found me?
Well, so I started my podcast like 3 months ago, and I was looking for guests.
Right.
And I checked with someone I already follow, and I saw that she was a guest on your podcast. So I just reached out to you, asking if you want to be a guest on my episode.
And was that Helen? Or who was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it was Helen.
Yeah. Helen Gutierrez. Shout out, Helen. Let's go. You found me. I came on your podcast. I really enjoyed the conversation. The questions you asked were great. And we had a chat later on, or at the end of that, I think it was, and you're like, I learned that you're a digital nomad. You travel around. You run your business from anywhere in the world, which is a similar vision for myself. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to Vietnam. And I'm like, oh, well, and then you're like, yeah, there's this city, and my ignorance maybe, but I'd never heard of this city, Da Nang, that we're in, Da Nang, city by the beach, big digital nomad community. I mean, that's all I really needed to hear. The fact that we work in the same space, similar space, and we got to chat about all the things music marketing. And unfortunately, our time won't be that long together because you're out of here in less than a week.
7 days, yeah.
About a week, yeah. Yeah. How's your time been here? What have you? Is it the second time here?
Second time in Vietnam. Yeah, it's basically the best, especially since the winter in Europe is super cold. So what I usually do, I just escape the winter and just go wherever is summer. So usually it's just Vietnam. And it makes me more productive. I was able to grow my business and my entire life just because I escaped the cold weather and the depression and, all of those depressed people, and the entire atmosphere during winter just feels very low.
Right.
But when you go to a place like Vietnam, basically, and you keep doing the same things, then you feel more alive, more energetic, right? And you feel it here. It's way easier, and I just love it.
What do you think, like, what is the magic? Because I think Vietnam, I mean, it seems like it's getting more and more popular, especially this specific city that we're in. And I've met some people who, even over the last year, they said it's been really developed and built up here. What is it about Vietnam? What do you think is the reason both that you come here and other people come here?
I would say it's one of the cheapest country to live in.
Okay.
Like, honestly, it's super easy to live here because you don't need to think about money. And that really helps because you don't have the stress about, like, I do feel like with a lot of business owners and musicians, the problem is just the stress about money, all of those things. And basically, when you move to Vietnam, it's just cheaper.
Yeah.
And also the culture and the coffee. You tasted the coffee, right?
I had a coffee before we came here, man. These hours are getting me twisted. I feel like I'm working more now than I ever have because it's nighttime. Everyone wakes up back in North America, which is most of where my clients and partners are from, and then in the morning they're going to they're still up. So it's like I sleep during their afternoon and wake up. Yeah, so the coffee helps.
10 coffees a day.
The coffee's a quality thing here. But you've been doing the digital nomad thing for how long now?
It's going to be, I think my Nomadversary is going to be next month.
Your Nomadversary. I've not heard of this. Okay.
I coined it. If someone else uses it, Finch Bergling.
Okay. Okay.
Nomadversary is going to be the third Nomadversary. Next June. So I've been doing it for 3 years.
And in these 3 years, you have not called one specific place home. Like you've not been in a place. How long? What's the longest you've spent in that time?
I think Bulgaria would be my home. Like I spent maybe like 4 months.
4 months, Bulgaria.
In a row, yeah.
Summer,
and then actually this year also a bit of winter, just to see what it's like.
Oh, you didn't escape winter, yeah.
I just wanted to see what it's like, and it sucks. Sometimes you need the winter to appreciate the summer. So that's what I did.
That's deep. We'll cut that one out. Yeah. Sometimes you need to go into the dark to come back into the light, right?
No, but it's true because you stop appreciating some stuff. Just like, okay, now I know what I go to the summer every year because the winter sucks.
Yeah.
Some people do like it. They like the snow. Just I don't get it.
I can certainly relate in my own personal life. I escaped winter for 27 years where I grew up in New England, went to California for 10 years where you can drive to winter, and now I live back in winter in Colorado, and so it's been an adjustment. And ironically, you also were in like a ski town, right? But you don't ski.
No. Okay. So living in a ski town is like everyone either ski or talk about skiing.
Yeah. Okay.
Awful.
So 3 months of digital nomading, but
3
also
3 years. Yeah.
Excuse me, 3 years, right? That's the coffee. Come on, 3 years digital nomad. All right, 3 years on my paper here. There we go. 3 years digital nomading, but also how long on your business?
Also around 3 years. I just started everything like complete blank page of my life, just like going somewhere new with a lot of other business owners. It was also really important for me just to be around people. That's what I didn't have as a musician, which is why, maybe we'll talk about it later, why I didn't feel like I succeeded as a musician and I had to like quit for a while, just because having people around you is what helps you grow so much. And I couldn't grow my business without being around business owners all the time. Everyone just hustling, everyone just talking about growth. I think also one thing that really helps is the fact that I can talk about my successes and not feel too braggy about it, because everyone else around me also have some success stories. Yeah. And that's something I feel people really lack these days, the ability to just be proud of what they do, and it makes you really keep going. Yeah. So I don't know, have a new client, you just scream in the room saying, I have a new client, and then we'll just like clapping their hands. Happy for you.
I WhatsApp messaged you last night after I had a really good call with an artist that's going to work with me, and so it's really, you hit that so hard, and that's just a personal thing for me right now. I've felt like I've had sort of waves of the energy that I need, that I'm looking for to be around the people, right? It's all about who you surround yourself with. And so you were living in Slovakia and trying to make it as a musician, and just didn't really work out for whatever reason.
Yeah. I was really into electronic music if you're talking about my story, I started
let's just get the origin story in there.
Let's begin there in 1 minute.
Yes.
I really liked electronic music. I discovered that you can make it yourself. I downloaded a cracked version of FL Studio.
The OG. Yeah.
I started making music. I truly believed my music was good. I kind of went all in on music, and basically that made me kind of depressed.
And this was when you were 12 you started, so all the way up to...
Yeah. When I was 19, I moved out of my parents' house trying to make music kind of full-time, believing I can make it as a musician. And just making music, having a full-time job, all of those things together, having so much stress of like I have to release music, and also It was like 2018 maybe. I feel like also Instagram wasn't as popular. Spotify wasn't as popular. You didn't have TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok didn't exist, and
Right.
it was so hard also back then to grow. So yeah, it was super hard for me.
So an interesting point there is that, you know, these social media platforms weren't maybe as big of a part of growth or opportunity for artists. TikTok didn't exist, and to you that means it's harder for you, right? I think that's a really important thing to pause on, because in my experience, so many artists still to this day in 2026 complain about the platforms and the posting and the social media. But God, if we can just flip our brains to look at that being an opportunity, right? Like, hey, I have this amazing chance to share my music with the world, to tell people my story, to post it, and to do it for free. And that's a blessing, but you didn't have that opportunity. That's a really, really important thing, I think, to nail in on, right?
Yeah, everyone has today an ability to be their own label, like run ads for themselves, create content for themselves, put their music on playlists or create playlists for themselves. You didn't have it 10 years ago. And I took a break from music around the time that TikTok started growing. And during my break, I went to university to study business and marketing.
Smart.
And by the way, during those years at university, they didn't mention, I think, TikTok once. So today it's completely different.
Yeah.
But
are they teaching TikTok in school these days? I don't know. I'm so far
I hope
removed.
so. I think university is so outdated.
Yeah.
Probably not talking about AI or anything. And yeah, basically, I just had my degree in marketing, and I came back to music with some knowledge. But still, when I was making music and promoting it, I still didn't feel happy enough. I felt like you need to be as good in marketing as you are in music. And those two separate things take so much time to learn and to master that I didn't have, I guess, the patience to just learn it myself.
Right.
I feel like I have this problem with myself that I can't really focus and develop a new skill unless I develop all of my energy to it. Do you ever feel the same?
I think you and I have a bit of a difference in the sense that, just observing you work, you know, we've literally, for those who don't know, you know, we've been sitting at co-working spaces here in Vietnam and watching each other work and stuff, and also just looking at your business model and what your services are. It seems, and I believe that the best entrepreneurs and business owners and people offering services will be hyper targeted, hyper focused on what they do and become a master of their domain. And I think you've done a really good job of really zeroing in on that. And I think one of my challenges that I've been trying to deal with is trying to do too much, right? So I do agree with you. And you know, my challenge has always been trying to balance being an artist, making music, releasing music, performing, gigging, things like that, with helping other artists. And I just did a post on this the other day. Is my toxic trait has always been wanting to help other artists more than I help myself. And maybe that's just a cop-out. But over 15 years of just my adult life and doing this, so many people have been like, why don't you just go DJ full time? And because I don't want to DJ a corporate gig. I don't want to DJ a wedding, you know, yeah, sure, the money's good, but if I'm sacrificing what truly makes me happy for those things just to make some money, then no. So yeah, the music, unfortunately, has taken a backseat to building business, because I still have that as a creative outlet, and that's still my happy place. And then the business is my vision for helping other people, you know, make a living doing that. So did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Welcome back to More Than Streams.
And I can totally relate. Yeah. And maybe you can also relate to the feeling that sometimes you feel like your dreams and passions, they are your identity. And I used to say, if I can't make it as a musician, then what am I? If I can't be an actor, what am I? That's who I am, and I have to be successful. And I felt like the moment I realized that growth is not about the things that you choose to do, but the things you decide not to do. That when I actually had growth, because I just threw away so many of my dreams, which I think like many people say, like, don't give up on your dreams, like do whatever you can do to achieve your dreams. And yeah, I stopped feeling like a main character, stopped having like my own story. And it really helped just like giving up on so many things I really loved doing. And just, as you said, I really enjoy focusing on one thing for a while. And just say no for other things.
Yeah, that is like a very mature and experienced way to look at things, right? So many people want to hang on to things. You know, my sort of like, to answer your previous question again, like juggling all the different things, right? Like my sort of messy ball was like corporate day job for 15 years. That's what made my living. That's what paid for my other stuff. And that was during the day. And then all these music projects, there was always more than one. There was never just one side thing. It was music blog, became an artist manager, became A&R at a couple independent record labels, promoter slash talent buyer slash, event producer. And then, DJ producer myself. I DJ'd for a while. I actually fought producing music. I used to be in bands. I have experience with that, but yeah, I put that off for a while. And then so I had to sort of like start trimming the fat a little bit. I was the last one of my four co-founders to stop the music blog. That was probably the thing I missed the most. Like I love writing. We got really amazing access. We got to cover music festivals, be backstage, on stage. We had photo passes. Interviewing artists, things like that. It just felt really awesome to like have this media company, but like the blog days are over. Now it would be just like something on Instagram. I miss those days. The A&R in the record label stuff, I don't think people realize how much work goes into running a label, especially if it's not a full-time thing, and especially if it's not like generating a lot of income and money and stuff, and then there's too many heads. So with you, you sort of have to trim out what's maybe not serving you anymore, maybe what's not filling the cup. And yeah, so the transition from, you had this realization, right? So you go to university, you get your degree, you go back to making music for full time, like.
No, it was, I finished university around COVID, so I moved back to my parents' house. Yep. So saying it was full time, I would say, I kind of tried to make it as a musician, but I didn't really have like a full-time job too, so I had like lots of free time.
Sure.
And I think during that time I started really learning a lot about marketing for my own music, but just because I became a nerd of marketing, especially after university, I really liked it. I listened to all of those podcasts, watched so many YouTube videos, and then I started promoting my own music. And I think during that time I just realized, damn, I really like marketing. Like I really like creating those videos. But then I realized my music wasn't good. I realized that I'm not as good as I thought about many things. Like I wanted to be a professional actor for so many years. I started acting from a very young age. And I have also, I think, a high level of self-awareness that I was able to look at myself and just say, I'm not a good actor. I'm not as good of musician as I thought I was. And I know that if I want to really succeed and stand out, I need to be a really good musician or have a very unique attribute on myself, right?
Or be really good at marketing.
even with true, but still you need to find like this edge. Right? It's like you always have to have some edge, like really good music, really good branding, really good, a lot of money. Famous parents, something. You have to have this edge. Something like that. I felt like I don't have it. And I just realized that with my own music, I will just have to keep it as a hobby, at least for now.
Now, I mean, that's certainly part of the creator's dilemma, the artist's dilemma is like, we are our own worst critics. We're hard on ourselves, So is this sort of realization or opinion that you formed in your own art, was that just you in a vacuum? Was that a feedback loop somewhere? Are you getting information back to say like, this isn't my thing? Like, example, I know that I can't surf. I've tried surfing in 4 different countries. I know that the result of me trying to surf is not being able to stand up on a wave and I fall down, and it's like, I'm not a good surfer. I know I have that data, right? So what led you to form these opinions about your own acting career, your own music career?
Well, I think I disagree with what you said about how musicians criticize themselves and like they're their own biggest criticizers. What's the name? I do feel like, especially since I'm a playlist curator and I receive songs every day from musicians wanting to pitch their music, so many are
music,
just not self-aware. Yeah, I know about myself listening to my music in the past for like 10 years. I thought my music was good. So many musicians, they think their music is exceptional, very unique, and I don't think they're able to criticize themselves the right way. And I feel like just after a few years, I developed this ability to criticize myself the right way.
Sure.
And that's when I realized that I don't have what it takes to reach the level I want, which means monetizing my music.
Sure.
And also I realized that I enjoy marketing more and helping others, because I did feel like for so many years when I was younger that I wanted to be a teacher, educator, and basically when people ask me like how I got into music marketing, it's just kind of combining 3 of my biggest passions: music, marketing, and education.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I had a mom who was a teacher for 35 years, so I totally understand that. I guess it's all experience, right? Like, of course, I talk to artists every day who are like, man, I just want people to hear my music, and they do think their shit doesn't stink. And but at the same time, like, I have personal friends in my local community back home who are amazing producers, and they have quite literally said to me, they're sitting on dozens of records, like a whole massive catalog of just unreleased music, and I'm like, why don't you do something, put it out? And they're like, oh, it's not good, it's not ready, and I'm like, it's like, again, for me, it's all experience, right? It's like I meet people who I'm not very good at golf, and I will come across people who say, yeah, I'm not very good, and then you go to play with them and they're like,
they're awesome.
They're comparing themselves to pros, right? They're not comparing themselves to a weekend warrior who or someone like me who just never really grew up playing golf, that kind of thing. So it's all subjective.
True, yeah. And there are a lot of examples of musicians that grew with bad music too. I think one of my favorite example is this singer-songwriter Clairo. That's her name. I think her first song was just like a very low-quality, self-made song she posted on YouTube with a very low-quality visuals. It was like 2016 that she posted it, and today the video has over 150 million views on YouTube, and she's one of, I think, the most popular indie artists out there. And she started, with bad music, but I think her edge was just authenticity, and that works really well. So I think even with music that is not good enough, you can always stand out somehow, but you do need to figure out what it is, and sometimes it takes time, and sometimes you're just born with some talent, some edge.
Yeah. I mean, I think in your case, though, I mean, like, there's the whole concept of 10,000 hours, right? And putting in the work and getting better at your craft, maybe recognizing that you're not quite good at the music, and then maybe deciding, like, you have 2 roads, right? You could say, like, I don't think I'm very good, but I want to get better. And then go down that avenue and really work on it. Maybe work with mentors, maybe work with fellow artists and musicians. And then there's the one that you chose where it's like, I'm not very good and I like this other thing better. I like this other avenue better, so I'm going to go to that avenue. Did you ever consider just working at it, or were you just like, nah?
It's a good question. I feel like maybe I just lost the fun. It used to be when it was just about like making music for fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you should do. I think when you start making music, like that's the biggest tip.
Yep.
Just have fun with it, right? And I did have fun for 10 years,
sure.
I think, for so long. And I still have fun making music. And then, when you have to do that 1,000 hours to make it professional, then It's not fun anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well, bring in the speakers. We're gonna listen to Finch's music for the next 40 minutes here. Just kidding. Okay. So now we are in the I'm gonna go all in on music marketing. What was the sort of genesis of that? What was the evolution of that? You know, I'm not here to talk about your whole story necessarily, but like, you know, you basically decided I'm gonna go all in on music marketing. What did that look like? What did you know, how did you put yourself out there? Who were you working with? Who was your first client? You know, what were you like? What did that paint the picture?
So after university, I worked for one After university, it was a market research company, and I hated this. So I quit the job, and then I saw on Facebook someone posting a remote job in a music marketing company. So I applied, and that kind of brought me really deep into the world of music marketing because I was working for another agency, and they kind of taught me most of the things I know. The agency had some big clients like Infected Mushroom, if you know them. I used to manage their social media and run campaigns, and that's kind of how I learned how to use meta ads and create content for big clients. And 1 year into that job, I just started my own agency, like on Instagram, just sharing what I know. And slowly, my Instagram grew. That was January 2023. And so that was January 2023, yeah. And people started reaching out, asking me to create content for them, to teach them how to do some marketing. And I just gave some information for free. I had some calls for free with clients, and over time, just working with more and more clients for free, I was able to generate good results for them. I posted those results on social media. Then I started creating some courses, and some of my videos went viral. I started growing my email list, and I quit my job in the music marketing agency, and I started making full-time money from my own agency.
That's great.
That was like around 2024. And yeah, since then I've been doing this. Also Spotify playlists been a big part of my business model. So I started growing 6 different playlists in 2023. And it was way before, I think, other marketers talked about playlists and the power of them. So I started growing playlists before it was mainstream. And then it was easier to grow the following, to build an audience. I joined different platforms. So that was also a big source of income for me. And when everything was more stable, I realized how much I enjoy it. Then I was able to do it nonstop for 3.5 years now.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you touched on a point there where you said, you know, basically saying that playlists, you know, a lot of other marketers were not really like honing in on playlists, right? So, you know, in your own words, what's the power of a playlist? What does that do for an artist? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Why do people come to you to help with that?
So when I talk about playlists, I'm talking about creating your own playlist, because of course you can you can submit your music to other curators on platforms like SubmitHub, but then you will get just a couple of hundred of streams. But when you have your own playlist, you have your own ecosystem. And what it does, it allows you to put your own music on a playlist. And the 2 things that playlists help with are cheap streams, because you can promote your playlists. You can promote a playlist with other musicians' music on it, and that's more appealing than just promoting your own music. And so it's easier to get someone to listen to the playlist. So you get streams for a cheaper price than just running ads for your own music. But also, when you put your own music alongside music by other artists, you train the Spotify algorithm. And the algorithmic playlists are so powerful because you can get 1,000 streams on your own music from your own playlist, but then you can get 10,000 streams from algorithmic playlists over time. And that's free streams, and musicians don't have a lot of money to spend on ads and promotion, which is why you do need to trigger those algorithmic playlists. And with the right playlists, you will get great algorithmic support. Now, building the right playlist is not as easy as people think, because a playlist is a journey, and you want to keep a listener on a playlist for as long as possible. The more songs they stream from the playlist, the more streams you get for each listener, which makes the cost per stream lower.
We're getting into some secret sauce here, folks. Get your pen and paper out. Let's go.
Which is why also, I didn't mention it, I was a DJ also.
You too, man. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry. and that's
Who
that's
isn't a DJ these days? Yeah.
Who isn't? Yeah, I started, actually, I started curating music on YouTube. I always forget that, but I started being a curator like long before I created my first playlist. Even before that, in high school, during recess, I used to be the one playing music, like in class. I enjoyed just picking the right songs and playing it for people. Like one time when I was like 15, I went to like a new gym. I just gave the manager like a USB or a disc on key, whatever it's called, just like with music. Just like, that's the music you're gonna play at the gym. So
gym DJ.
Curation.
Curation has always been there.
Curation, you need to really love it, and you actually need to be good at picking the right songs for the playlist. So I always had this. I created some workout music and I posted it on YouTube, and then during COVID it blew up with like millions of views too. And then I created playlists, and I do feel like the combination of or just being really good with picking the right songs and knowing exactly what's your genre and what is the vibe of the playlist, which is something that so many musicians fail. It's just like understanding who is their audience in terms of genre and vibe. That's super important.
Okay, so a couple things here. I guess maybe last in, first out, right? A lot of artists actually, I think, are confused on that part. Like you said, maybe they don't know, but maybe some are aware. It's like, how do I find my lane? How do I find like who I sound like and things like that? So are there some tools or some methods that you use or can recommend to artists who are trying to figure out their lane? Because, you know, it's building a house, or you have to have those foundations to then go out and be able to market yourself, right? If you don't know what you're trying to be about, who you're trying to attract, it makes the marketing and advertising attempts, you know, a waste, really. So what are some methodologies you use or some tactics you can use or suggest to those artists?
Can I share a secret, John?
I'm here for secrets. I'm here. Should we turn off the camera?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. Can we?
So I didn't used to like indie or rock music until maybe 2 years ago. I wouldn't listen to this music at all. I wouldn't listen to any playlist that contains indie or rock music. And most of my audience today are indie or rock musicians. And I can easily identify genres. Like play a song, I will be like, oh, that's indie rock, that's alt pop. And I can do that thanks to one single fact.
Is this the secret? Is this the moment?
The secret was that I didn't like Indian rock music.
Oh, come on.
Not good enough? Okay. Also,
podcast over.
But the reason I'm able to identify genres is because I listen to hours of music every week. And
getting your reps in.
Many musicians don't listen to enough music or their own genre, because if they did, they would be able to find similar artists or identify their genre. And I think the fact that I travel so much and I listen to so much music while I travel, that also helped my curation and my ability to identify similar artists and the right genre.
You're spending time in actually with headphones on and like, well, I mean, an expert in anything puts the hours in. Right?
Yeah. And basically, just I think artists should just listen to more music, more playlists on Spotify, and just discover new musicians. Just feel like you're a curator.
Yeah.
Just be every musician needs to be a curator.
Yeah.
Curates music
Yeah.
similar to yours.
And anyone who says that, like, you know, there's all these, everyone are, you know, it's a polarizing subject, Spotify or any of these platforms, you know, they say like, oh, there's no good music out there. I'm like, I hear good music every single day, and it's just from like just spending the time with the headphones on. Brain fart. Please hold. Damn, there's gonna be some. Oh, the one thing I was gonna say is I think maybe in like the world that I live in a little bit more with my own music and DJing and stuff is like, I think artists listen to too much music in their own space too much. Like they like a house music producer or a tech house music producer. I'm picking on you guys, but like there's no originality right now, and I feel like everyone's trying to recreate a sound. You know, and I feel like, I don't know if that's unique to electronic music or whatever, but, you know, every few years, like a new genre becomes like the thing, and all the songs all sound alike. And it's just everyone's trying to chase, you know, the big DJs who are either producing it or playing it. And you know, so that's, in my opinion, like not where the originality, and I think people need to spend time like coming up with creative ideas. But I think that's a really good tip to do that. And then, so what have you found is, man, I had two questions in there. Brain farts. Ask me a question.
Have you ever watched Eurovision?
Have I ever watched Eurovision? I actually have watched Eurovision.
Like
the actual competition.
The live.
I was in Copenhagen last
you watch
year.
It live?
I don't know when it's on, but
on TV.
I've seen it.
Okay. Yeah. So Eurovision is basically the best way to showcase brand and uniqueness, because that's what different countries try to represent. And yeah, Eurovision is this Saturday. I'm excited for Eurovision. I'm a big Eurovision fan.
Oh shit, it's kicking off. Let's go.
Because yeah, I do like music, and I do like musicians who stand out. And
yes.
It's all about just standing out and creating huge performances. And I think for musicians who have never watched Eurovision, just try to get inspired. And this year, I'm going to predict that Finland is going to win. This episode is going to air after the final, but that's my prediction. And the reason is that they're going to be the first country ever to play a violin live on stage. I mean, since they prohibited the live performances on stage. So it's going to be since 1980 or something. It's going to be a live performance of a violin, and it's very impressive. And it's like a combination of like rock with acoustic, all of those things. And yeah, it's just impressive. And that's how you do it. And you can check every time. Check the winners of Eurovision. You can learn so much from it, of like how to stand out and what to do to be different.
Yeah.
And there was one guy with a song that wasn't too crazy, but he just painted his entire body in silver. So he's all silver. So even with like a very mediocre song, you can still make it to the final just by being different, basically.
That's putting lipstick on a pig. But I think it's great. Yeah. So any artist wanting to learn how to stick out, watch Eurovision. Because I remember I was in a hotel with my girlfriend at the time last year, Copenhagen. It must have been reruns or something, but we had Eurovision on, and I'm just like, every act, I'm like, these people are so ridiculous, but they have my attention. You know, I think that is something to really figure out, like, what is your thing? How are you standing out? What is your unique quality or trait with your music, especially, and then with your brand too. I remembered what I was going to ask you, but today even I was listening to NPR, National Public Radio. It's based in the States, but they have something called Tiny Desk. Have you heard of Tiny Desk?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tiny Desk, and they interviewed an artist who has applied, I don't remember the exact amount of times, but he's applied multiple years in a row. He's a rapper, I believe. And he finally got accepted. And what he started doing was posting a verse on social media every single day, a verse of a song. Just every single day posting a verse. And that got him 400,000 followers online. And he started...
Was it a verse of popular songs?
His music.
Own music.
His music, yeah. So he's creating a name for himself. He's like the artist who. And this is actually something I work with my clients on, is like a one-sentence thing where you can actually be identified to somebody, I mentioned this to you the other day. You took notes on it. I was like, have them talk about you when you're not in the room, right? Like when you have fans, your fans talk about you when you're not in the room. That's a good thing, right? And so when that one sentence thing is, oh, he's the person who blank, or she's the person who blank, or that band is the band that blank.
Exactly.
Right? And to be that one sentence thing is super, super powerful. So, if I were to, I didn't look at this guy's music or anything, but it's like, oh, he was the guy who posted a verse of his own music every single day, got 400,000 followers, applied for Tiny Desk, and got on it. And that's a really incredible thing, a special, unique thing that they can do. But I wanted to go back to the playlist thing because that's your specialty, right?
Yes.
Triggering the algorithm, you mentioned. That was the second question. So the benefits of building an artist playlist, you're putting your own music on it. You're getting people to follow it because you're curating a vibe. There's bigger artists who sound like you, smaller artists who sound like you. And then you mentioned triggering the algorithm. How do you trigger the algorithm? What are the benefits of triggering the algorithm? What can you do? What can you not do? Everyone talks algorithms. What's up?
Yes. So to trigger the Spotify algorithm, what you need is a combination of ads and playlists. So playlists will help the algorithm identify who your music is similar to. But when people stream your music on a playlist, they're not very likely to save it. The save rate on a playlist is about 2%. And what Spotify wants to see is a high save rate, because when someone saves your song, it means that they like it.
Yeah.
And that's a signal that Spotify wants to see.
And that will contribute to popularity score.
Yes.
Right.
So you will get streams from playlists, and you will get saves by running ads directly to your song.
Sure.
And then the combination will increase your popularity score and will start triggering algorithmic playlists like Radio, Release Radar, and Discover Weekly. And basically, the algorithmic playlists, they will help you get free promotion, and they will be very targeted for people who are very likely to also like your music. So
Sure.
the radio playlist is, I think, the most popular playlist.
Yep.
And the way it works is that you stream one song by an artist, and then Spotify is going to recommend songs by other artists and play them automatically. And personally, many times I listen to the radio playlist, which is not really a playlist, it's just the type of music that plays automatically.
And it's curated for you.
You, and usually it's on point. It's really good. So you want people to listen to your music through the radio. But they're not very likely, if they listen on radio, to become your fans, because it's just background music.
Sure.
And that's true for playlists too. So when you get some saves, and that's also why you need the ads, a save means that someone might listen to your song more than once. And actually, right now is a great time to think about that, because Spotify introduced the verified badge 1 week ago, and in order to get that, you need 10,000 active listeners, not monthly listeners, which are listeners that come back to your music every month.
Super fans or fans.
Yes, exactly. So if you only get streams from playlists, if you put your song on a playlist that gives you 1 million streams, for example, after release, when your song gets removed from the playlist, you will not get those listeners again. It's just like a boost of streams. So you want consistent streams and listeners from algorithmic playlists, but also you want ads run into your own music and also to your own playlist to keep people streaming your playlist over and over again, and also saving your music. So it would be on their saved playlists and on their saved liked songs playlists.
Right. I mean, there's just so much that's like out of our control. Right. And when I say our, I mean the musician, right? Like there's algorithms are literally, we don't control any of that. Spotify's a black box. We don't own any of the data, no fan data, nothing. We have demographic information, geographic information. That's pretty much it. We can't ask somebody to press play. We can't ask them to send it to their friends. We can't prevent them from skipping a song 30 seconds in, right? So do you have any methods for controlling some of this stuff, for actually saying, like, I know based on, the last 3 years of doing this and all these, dozens of campaigns, hundreds of campaigns, whatever it is, that these like 3 things work every single time? Like, is there any of that going on, or how do you sort of like set the expectation with the artist as well, that it's paying you money to do these things?
So the way I do those things, and I think that also refers to what I talked about before about knowing your genre, is that I try to get the musician in front of the people that are the very most likely to become their fans in a way that actually comes to my time in the research company, marketing research company, that for 6 months I learned how to do market research. And that really helped me understand the importance of market research. And when you get the right product, aka your song, in front of the right listener, and you get that listener to watch your ad a few times, and you can do it with a few different ad campaigns, lookalike campaign, retargeting campaigns, all of those things. You can get someone to watch your ads over and over again. You can get them to listen to your playlist more than once.
Sure.
You can get them on your email list, and then they will also read your emails. So repetition is really important, and you will get repetition when you find the right audience, the right person for your music. So I do think what sets me apart is my ability to do the market research and find the right audience for your music, especially with ads, just targeting very specific people. If I have a song about love, for example, I will spend 30 minutes just going through all of the different possible targeting for a love song. Maybe I would target married people, right? And then maybe I will create an ad that is talking about marriage. And the visuals will be about a wedding or something. And then I will have a caption saying, if you're married to the love of your life or something like that, that is the song for you. And I would pick the right part of the song that talks about marriage. All of those things make a person says, that's me. How
You're
did
speaking
you know?
to me? Yeah.
Do you know it when you have an ad and you say like, how did they know that I have a dog and the dog needs like this exact surgery? Like, how did they know that?
Yeah.
That's good marketing and market research, and that's something that I do. I try to find the right person for your song, because you can make generic ads and then you will get 1,000 people to watch your ad and listen to the song, and then they just love the genre and that's it. But the more specific you are, and I really focus on being specific, then the higher chances that the listener will stick around.
Yeah, but that's great. That's your clip of the moment there, folks. No, I mean that's incredible, and I don't think I've heard a lot of people like yourself talk that way, as far as like the devil is always in the details, right? And being able to speak to your target audience is really how you get people to resonate with you. I mean, you've done that with your own social media, and that's why you got people reaching out, because you know how to get inside the brain of your potential clients, and then, you know, helping these artists with their potential fans, because that is the biggest challenge right now. It's like so many artists feel like they're releasing into the void. It's like they're just throwing their stuff into the ether, and they're not really sure how to do it. And so they need people who, like yourself, who are doing this every single day and have the proven tactics to get in front of those people. And then, you know, I think, like, I know I've kind of referenced your podcast name and More Than Streams and things like that, but what is it? Like, are the artists that you work with, do they care about More Than Streams? Like, where is this name coming from, and how do you actually convert? Like I said before, you know, Spotify being a black box, how do we actually turn these streams into real fans? How do we get the data? How do we, really level up the artist's brand in their business for more than just like, getting a few thousand streams from an ad campaign and that's it, you know?
Yeah. So I will start with the first question. Why I started More Than Streams. And it all started when I got scammed as a musician, and my song was put on a botted playlist.
Sure.
And I got thousands of streams. And I remember this week as maybe the happiest weeks of my life, basically getting 1,000 streams on my song. And I remember the song was placed on a playlist alongside artists like Charlie Puth and Dua Lipa. I was extremely excited. I texted all of my friends, showing them the playlist. I was posting to my fans, fans, like maybe the 5 people that really cared about my music. I posted like saying I got 10,000 streams on the first month of release, stuff like that. And then I just learned that it was a botted playlist, and I saw that all of the listeners came from a very specific city in the US called Fayetteville, something like that.
Okay.
And I know that humans have the problem of just having, they want the numbers. They want to show off. They want those things. It's a very human thing just to, I don't know how to say it, but they want to show off, right?
It's like that hit, right? You know, it's
that's what they chase.
And I mean, you can, sort of speak to this if you want to, but like, there's a lot of debate around, obviously people debate Spotify in general, but Spotify sharing stream numbers publicly versus a platform like Apple Music that doesn't. And then there's obviously all the social media platforms, and then there's even Reddit, right? Like if you make a post on Reddit and you get a ton of upvotes, that's the dopamine hit, right? So are artists doing this more for the dopamine hits, or like what's really behind it?
They do. Like I know myself also on social media, when I got on my artist page a few videos going viral, I couldn't concentrate. I had to check my phone every 30 minutes to see 10,000 new views and hundreds of comments. Like that made me feel so good.
Yeah.
And the problem is that it translates to nothing.
Sure.
And that's the next question, like how do you translate it? Because I did get 10,000 streams on my song. None of those listeners were real. I couldn't monetize my music. I was just happy about it, and that's it. And the problem is that musicians are very much fine with it many times too.
Why do you think that is? Why are they fine with it? Is it lack of knowledge? Are they hobbyists? Like what is this bucket of people that just they don't care?
Well, that's come down to a philosopher I really appreciate called Freud. He said that humans only care about 2 things. The first thing, can I say it? Starts with an S.
Sex.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the first thing they care about. The second thing is the feeling of importance.
Sure.
They want to feel like people care about them. And basically, when you get the streams, when you get the listeners, even if they're not real, you feel important.
And you're having sex while you're getting the streams, right?
you just get a blowjob, just look at the laptop and Spotify Paris,
And this has been this is now the OnlyFans.
Get a cat.
This is the OnlyFans podcast. No. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So that's a big problem, and I experience it myself so many times. I want to feel important. I feel like every person wants to feel important.
You are important. Don't forget that. Don't you forget that.
We're all important.
You brought another human out from the U.S. to this place that we're in right now. You're important. That's me.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Anyways,
but you want the numbers. Anyway, So you asked me what's the reason that musicians are chasing streams is because in views, it gives the illusion of you are important. And sometimes I think for maybe 99% of musicians, it's enough. Like it makes them happy. And I believe that the meaning of life is just happiness. And if that's what makes you happy, even if those streams are not real, then, I mean,
do you think it's happiness? Do you think it's lack of experience? Do you think it's ignorance? Like, are these people just, like I said, are they just kind of like hobbyists who are making music in their bedroom and they have a full-time job and they're not really trying to make anything more out of it, and they have some money to spend and they just want to show people, hey, here's my music, and I want a feedback loop of some sort? Or, I've talked to so many artists who are like, they're so talented. Like the level of talent of people that I talk to is insane. And they're like, yeah, I can't get the gig I want. I can't get the festival booking because the gatekeepers are looking at my numbers and they care about that stuff. But then those numbers also don't translate into ticket sales or real fans. So there's this just crazy jumble of data and numbers out there that don't always make sense and don't necessarily matter, but sometimes they matter.
Yeah. So I would say just ignorance. I think that's a big problem in every industry, also in the music industry.
Sure.
And basically people just look at the wrong things. They don't have enough knowledge and idea what's really important. And yeah, I guess that's why the music industry is currently messed up. And
Currently.
it's been since forever messed up.
Yeah,
And yeah,
all right. Well, let me ask you this: in your business process and in your sort of like philosophies and how you think about things, you know, if an artist comes to you and says, "I want you to run this ad campaign and I want these streams," do you ever go deeper with them? Do you just take the order and run the campaign, or do you actually try to have a conversation with them, really try to understand their goals, where they're at as an artist? Are they trying to, you know, achieve greatness, or is it just the few thousand streams? Do you ever have those conversations? What's your process look like?
yeah, definitely. So some musicians don't have the budget for more than streams. And yeah,
Check out the podcast, folks.
I'll just have to say it like at least 10 times.
We're going to change the name, you know.
More than streams. So yeah, basically, if you don't have the budget, if all you want is just people to listen to your music and the right people, then I would just be like, okay, so that's what you will get, and that's it. But I will definitely try to first explain to the musician what are the results, and I will always ask them for their goal. I say no to maybe 50% of the musicians that reach out to me because I don't like their music enough, or just I don't think that they can get the more than streams.
That's very honorable of you.
And
so, pause on that. You're if you don't think they can get more than the streams, does that mean you're looking at your data-driven guy, right? Are you looking at their socials? Are you looking at their branding? Are you looking at everything that goes into their artist project and saying, yeah, I can't do anything. I can't help these people.
Yeah, basically, I'm being realistic and saying if that's what their social media looks right now, it's going to take more than
streams.
6 months. More than it's going to take a lot of time for them to get the results they want. And if all they want, like if they release an album in 3 months, that's like a conversation I had yesterday with a client, potential client, which I declined. I just said like, oh, you have an album coming out in 4 months. That's what you want from me. I can't help you reach that because that's going to take you way longer than you want. I can help you with getting the streams, but that will not take you anywhere because you have to work in your socials so much. And the way I give musicians the more than streams is a combination of like getting first. I talk a lot about funnels. So trying to first get people to the top of the funnel, aka getting the streams, getting the listeners, getting the views on social media, and then translating those eyeballs into the next stage of the funnel, which is getting them to trust the artist and looking for more from them, which is more like behind the scenes content, more engagement, all of those things. And there are a few different details that I focus on, and it's like Spotify presence, for example, the ability to take a listener from Spotify to Instagram, and the branding on Spotify does matter. Like you need to link your socials, you need to have playlists, you need all of those different things to get someone from Spotify to Instagram, and then from Instagram they just stick around and then they become fans. With playlists, you can also collect emails with the landing page. So I also help artists run a newsletter to send emails to their audiences, to their audience and to their listeners. So basically, all of those different things can help you take listeners and turn them into fans.
Yeah. And what did we say yesterday when we were chatting? What does fan stand for?
Fanatic.
And
I did ask ChatGPT, and you didn't lie.
You had to ask ChatGPT that? Okay. Well, it's an English word, obviously, but yeah, I mean, that concept, you know, I think a lot of artists overlook that. I think there's a lot of buzz and, you know, monkey see, monkey do. I want more fans. Well, do you know what a fan is? It's a fanatic. It's somebody who's like investing in you, right? So when we look at a funnel, you know, we think of the bottom of the funnel is where the people are actually paying money to support the artist project. They're buying the merch, they're buying the tickets, they are joining the, you know, paid communities or whatever else, you know, might be. I used to be a paying member of the Dave Matthews fan club, which a lot of people, I don't know if you know who that artist is. No, he's this American band, and I used to be a huge fan of them when I was a teenager. And I tell people that story because there's such a you know, they're just not, they're not what people expect I listened to or I'm a fan of. But I paid money to be in this club every year, and you'd get, you know, something like they send you a CD in the mail that nobody else is getting unless you're in the fan club. You get access to better seats during their tours, you know, all that stuff. And it's like, you want to be a part of that. You want to be part of the community, feel like you're in. So I think creating that space for the fans to be a part of that is really important too. So it is more than streams for sure. So that's, I mean, look, that is just, I think it's very noble of you, and you're one of the good ones. I mean, you're saying no to people. You're having the real conversations with people. You're leaving money on the table, which again, not every entrepreneur would be doing. And then, I mean, I'll be real. Like the person you spoke to yesterday, who needs a lot of work beyond the streams, that's where I come in, bro. Send them to me, man. That's the funnel we got to get going.
True.
But yeah, I mean, you know, shameless plug is like, that's how I work with artists, right? You know, sure, I'll do campaigns, but I'm really more interested in the deeper stuff, the foundational stuff, all the way out to how do we attract those people. So what do we got? We're due. Okay. I'm just gonna throw some questions at you. If you had to recommend one thing to an artist to seriously build their career, what would it be? One thing.
A playlist. With a playlist, you can collect emails, you can grow followers on Spotify, you can grow streams on your music, you can create connections with other musicians, like I found John here with my ability to create a playlist and grow it and start my business. You can trade placements with other musicians. You will get big musicians following you on Instagram, like I got David Guetta and Sam Feld following me on Instagram for my playlists. You will be able to DM them and do all of those things. You will be asked to join conferences around the world as a playlist curator. Lots of opportunities and money, of course. You can make a few $1,000s, which you can reinvest in your career. And the reason you should do it is because it takes maybe 1 hour a day to maintain, even less.
It's fun. I love being a curator.
Fun.
I love listening to music and like, it's awesome. Okay. Someone's listening right now who keeps putting off marketing their music because it's not ready yet. What do you tell them?
Can you repeat the question?
Someone's listening right now, an artist, right, who keeps putting off marketing their music. They're just not pushing their music, right? Because they don't think it's ready yet. What do you tell them?
Wait until it's ready and it's really good. Some marketers say just put your music out there. I just say get feedback. You can go to Submit Hub, Hot or Not. Okay. It's very cheap to get feedback from other people.
Yep.
You can see how your music will perform before you put money on it. You can get 10 people to rate your song. If they rate it over 7, I would say, then you will get good results with marketing. If they rate it overall under 7, 7 out of 10, then you will know that the campaign will just flop. So you can set realistic expectations and get feedback first. And if your song is not ready, maybe it will still perform well, but you will have to know first before you put it out there.
Absolutely. That's great. What's one thing artists should stop spending money on right now?
I would say they should stop spending money on ad campaigns without getting the right education before they do it, because meta ads, it takes years to learn, and there are so many small details that if you make this tiniest mistake, then that would cost you hundreds of dollars. So either invest in a course, or it can be thousands, tens of thousands. So invest in a course or watch YouTube videos, or
or pay an expert.
Pay an expert to do it for you.
Yeah. No, I think that's huge. I think a lot of my day-to-day conversations too are like, you know, I think there's, again, it's just, I don't know, this bad information or ignorance sort of gets passed around where it's, artists think that I invest in something, therefore I will get this result. And it doesn't matter. It's binary to them. It's like, I'm going to do an ad campaign. I'm going to get these results. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. To your point, there's so many nuances, right? Okay. I mean, I got a lot, but I really think the best way to do this, to end this off, is going to be some would you rathers. Are you familiar with this game? Would you rather? It's 2 options. Would you rather do this or that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Would you rather one playlist with 500,000 followers or 50 playlists with 10,000 each?
That's a lot of math. First option.
One big one.
Yeah.
One big one. Okay. Run a campaign for a great song with zero audience, or a massive audience with a mediocre song.
The best song with a small audience.
Because you have more of a blank canvas, you can grow that quicker. We don't need the why, but just curious.
We want like 10
we want the quality.
fanatics.
We want the quality.
Than 10,000.
There you go. Would you rather know a song will get Would you rather know a song will get 1 million streams but 0 new followers, or 10,000 streams and 5,000 new followers who stick around?
Followers who stick around.
More than streams. Yeah, more than streams. Would you rather a client goes viral once and disappears, or never goes viral but builds a loyal fan base over 5 years?
Loyal fan base.
Yeah. Those were all kind of related. Okay. Who is a dream client of yours that you'd want to work with? Shout it out. Put it out into the atmosphere. Manifest it. Who do you want to work with?
I would love to work with Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. Yo, yeah. Billie, if you and your team are listening, the Finch Bergling.
You have my Instagram. You follow me. Please reply to my messages.
Do they follow you?
I think she blocked me.
No.
Just kidding. No.
It's okay. Hey, man, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, all right. Well, hey, Finch, thank you so much for being here. It's a Wednesday night in Vietnam. You got places. What you said you got something. What are you going on? Where are you going after this?
Yeah, I'm going to play some VR.
Oh, he's doing some VR. He's going to go have some good. Mm-hmm. You have done a really good job integrating yourself with the community here. I feel like you're doing stuff all the time. This has been more than... No, I'm just kidding. This has been the Racket House podcast. Check out Finch Bergling. You can check him out on Instagram and all the platforms. And he's doing really good things, as you heard today, for the music community, for independent artists, really helping them build in your building. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on and to meet you in person. And I'm so glad I came out here. This has been the Racket House podcast, episode 28, across all platforms. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you, John.